Hello, good morning. Monday morning, March 11th, 2024. I'm looking to get an audio confirmation here, and we'll get things rolling. There's a confirmation, and then unmute desktop audio. Oops. I've got. I was just using Baby Beast, so that's why that happened. Streamer bot over here. Turn on those streamer bot messages, bring speaker bot over. Yep, because of the service call I was just on the phone, I don't have it quite all set up. Desktop audio is unmuted. And I did get my microphone confirmation.
Good morning.
Yeah, there's a good morning. Thank you. John Williams. So that phone call came in probably about 10 minutes before showtime, and it was a beeping sound that we thought was coming from the UPS, and it could be heard through the whole office, so it was real annoying for them. So we worked with that a bit, and I talked her over to the UPS and punched through the menu screens on it, and it was showing full battery, so it shouldn't be beeping. So then we get on FaceTime with the phone, look around at the other boxes that are in that room, that equipment room, and we find the alarm system with its cameras has a red status light. It's still not clear whether the alarm's coming from it. So I had to turn the power off on the alarm system since they're all there working now. They don't need the alarm system. And that stopped the beeping. But we couldn't tell right away because the beeps took like 2 minutes between beeps. But really annoying beep. Yuck. Okay. So, where do I want to go? I'll go to channel comments. Let's see, user P1 yada yada 2 days ago says, nice, thank you for the Gmail reverse conversation order. And I'll send him a message saying that I replied to him during the live stream. And user PI1, what we do here is 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then also on Saturday, and that includes Zoom on Saturdays. We try to answer people's questions regarding Windows issues going on. So please, next time you have an issue, come here and ask a question. You can put a comment on any of my videos. You can send an email to me at the address that's on the screen right now, or you can ask in the chat room your question. I will send a reply to him later with a timestamp for this point in the video. Chris Garrett, a regular in our community, says, if Microsoft came up with a fix for KB 503-4441, 3/4s, and put a command to resize the partitions, that could be a disaster for some people. Say if they have a spinning drive and it's going bad. Absolutely. There's many ways I think that could go bad. And we talked about that on Saturday, and Chris put in this comment, I think, after Saturday's show. So we are in agreement there. I'll give you a thumbs up and a heart. I'm going to hold off on the thumbs up and the heart for user P1 until I send the reply to him or her. Then I'll go to, see, make sure I'm okay with that. Yeah, go to emails. Let's see. Here's one. Somebody sent me an email saying a while ago you were talking about some Microsoft Access programs you made for some of your business clients and said you might be willing to show them to your audience. It would be nice if you could do some training on Microsoft Access. Training on Microsoft Access is beyond the scope of the mission of this channel because that's a long time. There's plenty of other good trainings out there, but if you have specific questions or issues, that I would take a stab at. And as the projects that I've done for clients, one was for security system, where in 3 of the government subsidized residential housing sites, I created a security system at their security desk. They have a computer and the person checks people in and they can print badges, which everybody coming in gets a badge to wear while they're in the office, while they're in the facility. It tracks the care providers It tracks visitors. It tracks what room they're going into. They can print out a report at any time, which they're required to be able to know who's in the building. They can print out a report at any time to show who's in the building in case there's an emergency, and then it has a capability of checking them out. And there's several other features built into that system. Another system that I have running is for an attorney's office that keeps track of the cases that they're working on. So that just gives you a little bit of a summary.
On repeat.
Speaker bot on repeat. Oh, thank you. I'll go turn that off. Turn off the repeat so it stops giving those instructions about how to use SpeakerBot. Because we have SpeakerBot, you could tell me that SpeakerBot needs to be fixed. Ay, caramba, are you kidding me right now? I received an Amazon gift card from Tony Wallow. Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate that very much. Any of the financial gifts that come through, it's very encouraging, very supporting, whatever the amount is. Tony's very generous on my channel and several other channels within this community. We all love you for that, Tony. It's awesome. Tim Cruz, I have an email from Tim. It's going to take a little bit of a detective mind here to figure this out because he didn't give us much information. But I'm going to, a lot of people will just reply with, what is the make and model, what CPU, what memory, and all these questions. I want to go ahead and try to answer however the question is presented. I want to try to give something useful and helpful. So he says in the subject line, Dell issues with my new PC. Please help me fix it. Thank you. Now, as I'm reading this out loud, I realize I read it before silently to myself. I know my lips don't move when I'm reading to myself. I didn't catch this. It's his new PC. I was questioning myself whether this could be one of the old computers he has laying around because he has previously asked questions about computers that are not his primary driver. But this is his new Dell. We know it's a laptop. He's having issues with it. He's given me two pictures. You might look at this and say, no, he gave you three. Well, these two are identical. So I'm going to open this one and it says something went wrong, and I'm deducing the something went wrong is not with me showing the picture, but I think he took a picture of this grayed out screen, smoky colored screen. This part here looks like a cell phone image, having the stream preview and a go live button in the bottom right corner. I was wondering if that's just half of a desktop screen, but it really looks like this is the content that would be on a cell phone image. But over here on the right, there's a message that says, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. So that's really confusing there. What in the world is he showing me? This picture is a screenshot of an entire computer. So that's weird. But basically the bottom line here is it's saying something went wrong. And the next picture is another similar thing. Something unexpected happened. A completely different screen that he's at. It's a Microsoft Store in the upper left corner. Looks like there's a Halo and it says retry. So he was trying to install it or download it or something along those lines. Something unexpected happened. So two very different issues where something happened. This makes me, when there's a problem happening at a different place or a different screen or a different moment of activity, I always want to suspect storage drive and memory to check those. Now, this is a new Dell laptop. I don't think he's replaced the storage drive or replaced the memory. Possibly he's upgraded the memory. So I would be suspecting something along those lines. I want to look at Crystal Disk Info, perhaps run memtest86 to see if that shows any problems. Beyond that, I think we need more information. Now, I don't know, was he actually asking for a session this Saturday where I connect remotely and try to find what the problem is? But Tim, if you can provide more information, then we'll try to go further with that. But that's what I got for you so far. Maybe the chat room has more. Here I get another Dennis. If Dennis is here, this is what I've been, oops, I didn't get it quick enough. I've been getting Chrome, yeah, notifications during, that's a Tom's Hardware, during, oh, I know what's going on here, I think. During Fortnite, it would come up on top of Fortnite. And I'm thinking it's from Tom's Hardware. I think I recently went to Tom's Hardware website and clicked OK on their default cookies. But I think I probably also must have approved notifications. So I'm going to turn off all notifications for Google Chrome. I don't like them anywhere, nowhere, no how, no way. Image failed. Let's go into notification settings and see if I've got anything else there I need to turn off. Oh, I got notifications turned off. You know what? I think I was experimenting with notifications at some point. So what I want to do, what I like to do is turn off all these app notifications, and also turn off, let's see, priority focus. Where is, I think all the way down here at the bottom. Turn this one off, security maintenance, additional settings down here. This is a good one to turn off. Additional settings, I'll turn off my picture-in-picture right here. Click on this expansion and remove these check marks. By default, these check marks are all on, and that causes you to get tips and suggestions when using Windows. Suggest ways to get most out of Windows and finish setting up this device. Show Windows welcome experience after updates. That's a real nuisance because that one will trick people into signing in with a Microsoft account. When it does a feature upgrade and it takes you through, it looks like the out-of-box experience, remove that check mark to stop getting that. Such a nuisance. Do not disturb is on, notification is off. So do not disturb, so it's on, and I was still getting Tom's Hardware notifications. Yeah, see, do not disturb. I think it turns on by default down here in the bottom right corner. That Z right there means do not disturb is on. I think that turns on by default when I'm streaming. Not quite sure how and when that comes up. Responses to some chat messages on Saturday's live stream that I copied these after the live stream was over. Danielle said, I had a bad experience with a toaster-style USB dual drive bay. A drive from desktop computer inserted in one bay, had his files go raw. Now want to back up on site before removing hard drive from PC. I think we did discuss this a little bit on Saturday, but I had something else I want to add to that. I'm suspecting that, Danielle, is it possible that you took a drive out of a computer, put it in the toaster, it wouldn't work? Is it possible that drive was in a computer that was using, I was wondering if I was going to remember this word when it came to it, the memory thing, when memory is kind of tied into it with the computer. I think Dells and HPs do it. What is that? What do they call it? It's like a 5 or 6 letters long. It's like, well, I think it's one syllable. Come on, give it to me. What is that? What is that word? What is that word? Come on, give it to me in chat. You know, I know the word. this is just a quiz, a QFA, quiz for all, right? See, come on, what is it? What is it? You know what it is. Tell me in chat. Is this thing on? Am I working? 0 drop frames. I haven't seen any chat messages after speed. Not cache. No, not cache. It's when the memory, it's when you have to have that special driver because the memory is working with a spinning hard drive to speed things up. It is not RAID, but it does require RAID in order for that to work. Why do I have so much trouble with that name? Let's see. What is it? What is it? Memory working with spinning hard drive. Oh, Optane. There you go, Wintermute. Of course. Optane. Of course, that's it. Optane memory. Yeah, because if that drive was pulled from a computer that uses Optane memory, then when you try to look at it at the toaster, you're not going to be able to see the normal file structure. Also, it's not just Optane memory, but there are other drives that Windows does not natively have drivers for. I had a Dell laptop that I did an unboxing for, and I set up for a client. Turns out that computer does not have Optane, but it does have a special driver that's included with the chipset When I tried to reinstall Windows from scratch, it could not access the drive, could not see any of the partitions until I installed that driver into the Windows installation media that it required for accessing that drive. So I'm wondering if that's what was going on for Danielle. And then she says this happened a few years ago, so it's not something she's currently working with. So we're not going to get results from her on that. And she was not sure if she tried that, whatever Chris was suggesting. She said she did recover files and took it as a lesson for future. So her lesson is she wants to do a backup on site, which is really a good idea anyway. My point is I prefer to leave the source disk in its original computer if I possibly can when copying data. That's a really safe way to go about it. Carrie Holzman was chimed in chat saying Gary was talking about Gary Weisenberger, things that we were talking about, is saying the parts are permanent. That was related to the soldered on storage media and soldered on memory. Do not have compatibility information built in since those soldered parts are custom made for that PC and does not conform to SPD standards. So we pretty much had that conversation, but this nailed it down a little bit further for me after the show was over. And I think probably most of you were on board with that idea already. Then Danielle says the 2-bay toaster I had seemed to have a problem. Standalone cloning with no connection to computer worked well. With the USB connection to the computer, it would only work reliably with 1 bay. Now I would question, Danielle, is it possible that the drive you had in the second bay was a drive that came out of a computer that used Optane or some other driver that the computer and your toaster weren't able to communicate with? So that's one other out in right field type of idea on that. So I would say in that you would have to try multiple different drives in that toaster to really conclude that it was an issue with the toaster, and I don't know if she did that. Either bay would work well with the toaster, but only one at a time when using USB. Now, if one of those drives indeed came from an Optane computer or a computer that had some other driver that was needed, this sentence implies that she was able to use either of those drives one at a time. Could those drives have been differing from each other enough that that would have caused a problem? So still, I'd be interested in swapping around multiple different drives in those bays to see if that makes a difference. Just ideas. Don't know. Save behavior, save behavior with manufacturer replacement. Either bay would work well with the toaster, but only one at a time. Same behavior with manufacturer's replacement. That's just a typo there. She meant it does the same behavior with the replacement from the manufacturer. Now again, were those with the same drives? Got another client calling. I'll call him back. Here I've got that link we talked about on Saturday's show for W Show Hide. What I didn't point out about that link, because I put it into the chat room, is that doesn't take you to a website. That just starts the download immediately. So I'm going to click on that here. Watch up here in the top to see that start downloading. Are you sure you want to leave YouTube? Go to site, and there's the download. It doesn't actually go to a site. So I realized after the show was over, that might have thrown some people. Tim Out of This World, that's Tim Cruz, was asking for number 6. And I was just acknowledging we did not get to number 6. The results of my XMP tests with Fortnite, OBS, superposition, benchmark, CPU-Z, and video rendering, because there are some interesting things there. Now, I haven't actually done the video rendering yet. What I want to do with that is get a video rendering project that takes like an hour for it to render, a very complex video edit that takes an hour, and then try different things with XMP and even different speed memory, perhaps, to see how much of a difference does it really make. I'm skeptical. Brian Lightfoot, to send financial support to Doug's channel by PayPal, click this link, and that he put into Saturday's show. I just want to say thank you, Brian Lightfoot, for doing that, or use a super chat during the live video. And I don't know if that was in response to somebody's question. I got voicemails from that client. So then move on to what else. That was chat on Saturday. Now, CAS latency. We talked a lot about CAS latency, and I did some experimenting with Copilot. after the show is over. Now, let me go here. I want to see whether I can bring it. Yeah, here it is. It goes straight to it, where I was last at. I asked Copilot, what is CAS latency? Gave me explanations here. That was pretty much on point with things that we talked about already. But there was something that was just jumping out at me here that I would said, what? Somebody put in chat. Let's see. I think I had, where did I have this? I think I saved it for today in Windows Daily. Go down here to bookmark for today on the 11th. Nope. Somebody put a link in chat on Saturday that talked about CAS latency, and it had like 4 numbers. I had 16 and then hyphen and 18 hyphen 18 hyphen 34. I didn't find any explanations. Why do you show me those 4 pairs of numbers? Because as far as I can tell, CAS latency is just a single 2-digit number for any particular RAM module. But there I was asking, what is CAS latency? And I'll ask Copilot up here, what is CAS latency? So here's the answers that Copilot gave me, but then I took that further. So I said, does that mean 16 CAS will take 16/32 billionths of a second to provide the data? Copilot says, indeed. Let's break it down, because if that's what that 16 means, that's a really small thing. Yeah, I understand memory timing, but how significant is it? And how much timing is it? So if we're talking about 16 compared to 18 compared to 32, and that's a fraction of 32 billion, I think is what that number came out to. Yeah, because it's 3,200 million transactions. So that's 3.2 billion in a second, right? So then here's the responses there. Time per clock cycle, 3,200th seconds, approximately. Here's a decimal form of that. I mean, the differences in these numbers, do we really care? Does it ever make a difference? It's noticeable. So then my next question, does the CPU have to wait for the first piece of data to be returned from memory before requesting the next memory address data? Copilot says, certainly, not certainly, yes, it does. Certainly, let's explore how the CPU interacts with memory. I found this interesting, how there's out-of-order execution, there's memory hierarchy, there's latency and pipelining. I'm not going to read through all this, but if any of you are interested, you could pause the video at these points and read through it if you want to go read through that. But I found it interesting. And then I asked more, what tasks could a person perform with a computer using high CAS memory, then swap RAM for low CAS memory, and be able to feel the difference in performance? Yeah, there was a little bit of typo there. Then certainly CAS latency, column address strobe latency of RAM, indeed can indeed impact performance, especially in specific tasks. Let's explore scenarios where you might notice a difference. So here are the responses in games. Here, games load more quickly, frame rates remain stable, video editing can slow down rendering tasks, accelerate video rendering with a lower latency, which is all along the lines of what we were all expecting or how the conversation was going. But my question is, does it make a noticeable difference? I'm kind of sort of interested in experimenting with that. Like Kerry suggested, he said, do your own experiments. Don't take what they say. Yeah, but this is going to take quite a while to do these experiments. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Scientific modeling tells us what happens with high CAS latency, what happens with low CAS latency. Virtual machines can benefit with lower latency. So I'm kind of interested in setting up good, solid case examples where I can switch between memory. And I was even thinking about buying a single, like 16 gigabyte board, maybe 32 gigabyte, of a low latency and one of a high latency, the same clock speed, and then switch between those and test it. I am curious enough to check that out. I see Wintermute's link. Let's go grab that into the conversation. Let's see, what do I get to here? Pop out chat and then make that bigger. And this link, I'm going straight to that without reading chat first. Memory timings. This is just more, is this just more information about it? Here's those numbers, hyphen. They are commonly written as 4 numbers with hyphens. The 4th is often omitted, command rate. Now, when I go look at memory to purchase, well, this one doesn't actually, well, here's CS, CL. I think this one is showing it as CL rather than CAS, because CAS is not found anywhere in this memory listing, whereas others, let's go duplicate this and go to RAM, just RAM selections. Some of the, okay, then we get into unbuffered or buffered and non-ECC and ECC. Oh my gosh. Some of these I saw said the CAS in the main description. Some of them you have to go click into them. I'm not seeing this right off the bat, so I'll click into this one, do Control F, CAS, and yes, there's the CAS 16. So every time I go look at memory, I'm only seeing as a 2-digit number. And the link that was provided on Saturday was showing 4-digit number, and here's the 4-digit number. So when is that given and why give the 4 digits? So obviously I'm going to have to do some reading there. So that's more homework assigned to me. Really? Do I really want to do these shows if it just means more homework assigned to me? Well, yes, I do. All right, so let's go catch up on chat. Hello, Alice. Hello, Mike. Danielle, got a notification, Macream Reflect update available. Yeah, I don't jump on those updates right when they come available. Rick Lakes, Mike Wojcik, Alice. Oh, Doug might be late. How about that? Rick Lakes, high is 60, tying the record 2016. Selden Ball with weather. Rick Lakes, weather. Jeff Raymond. John Williams says, good morning. Spent most of last week with migraine headaches. Yeah, me both. I took medication this morning. I got up at about 3 a.m. I had to take medication. Gradually working back into society after a change in meds. Yeah, sometimes you got to go change your meds out because the old meds aren't working anymore. Alice's best wishes to John. Greg M. After all, it's Monday. That's when the stuff from over the weekend hits the fan. That's what the phone calls I'm getting. Yeah, we really didn't have much winter. It's been warm last 3 months. Let's see, I think I'm catching all those names. Yeah, Rick gets headaches too and back pains. Oh, my. Jenny's phone number. She didn't spell it Jenny, does she? Alice enjoyed our Fortnite game this morning. So did I. It was nice to have you there. I know that sound from Chris. Oh, the beeping sound. Yeah, super annoying. Chris missed the comments on Saturday. Well, they're available now if you want to go back and read them. I missed. Oh, maybe that's why he put in the chat room, because he missed the chat room on Saturday. So he put it in to a comment on the video. Got it. Understood. Microsoft Store cache issues? Maybe. But that other thing that you're having, the live stream message, we don't know how close in proximity to each other those errors happen for Tim. Alice doesn't know RAID. You got to go through here I am missing names again. I was going to try to throw out a joke with the task force, the police task force that does raids. The guys in their bulletproof vests and stuff when they do raids. SWAT. Thank you, Wintermute. SWAT those flies. Danielle, don't think I had any special drive stuff going on. Western Digital 3.5-inch blue hard disk drive, Intel i5. The special driver would have, yeah, wouldn't be a regular Western Digital 3.5. That wouldn't have to take anything special. I think it was the toaster. Manufacturer discontinued the 2-bay toaster bay. Well, maybe there were other troubles they were having with it. Greg M., how do you communicate sensitive information such as login info to your clients? I do that by telephone conversation. I do not send it by text. I do not send it by email. Sam, I am. I would prefer not to use email for this type of information. I do not send credentials by email. It's only by telephone conversation. Now, I could set up some kind of encryption and stuff, but that's just a nuisance. My clients aren't going to like that. So I call them. Where they record it is their responsibility. Yeah, they might, but I will usually have that conversation with them about protecting that information, depending upon some of my clients. Their internal in-house login information is usually shared. They know each other's credentials because they don't have secrets from each other, and those are not accessible from the outside. Danielle, all of my tests were done with Western Digital 3.5-inch, same size model. So no, that sounds like she had a genuine problem with the toaster. I was just throwing out other ideas, other possibilities. Memory timing, 400 episodes of Live Windows Training. Oh, is this episode 400? What a coincidence. Yeah, I remember scheduling that. Now that you mention that, fireworks. Imagine fireworks going off all over the screen at episode 400. Now, that's not my 400th video. That's not even my 400th support show. That is the 400th Windows Daily. The Saturday shows don't count, right? Here was Friday's show, 399. Today on Monday is 400. Saturday didn't have a number. Saturdays don't get numbers. And then, of course, sometimes, like, what was that? Wednesday? Yeah, I think that was Wednesday. There were 3 shows. Only one of them is public. Yeah, you know what happened there. Alice is interested in that stuff about testing the difference, whether CAS timing makes a difference. Happy 400th, 9:45, and I got someplace I got to go to, and I got phone calls to return. All right, so I'm going to check out. I'm going to sign out. I'm going to say goodbye, sayonara, au revoir. I'm going to drop out of here. So, this is Monday. So Carrie Holzman does not have a public show. Does Ken the Stout have a show scheduled? I am checking on that. He does not have a show scheduled. So I'm going to drop out of here real quickly and suddenly without a whole long goodbye. And there you go. That's it.